politicians, they often address concerns of, say, I don't know, knife crime by offering us, the voters, longer and longer sentences and 2 strikes and instant jail. But too often these tough new rules, even if they're vigorously enforced at the start, it soon falls by the wayside. I think currently only a quarter of knife offenders are sent to prison, the lowest rate on record. Does the threat of prison deter someone from picking up a knife? Maybe it has you. If it has, give us a call and tell us about it. I'd love to hear. And I suppose we move on to bigger questions, which is, if prison doesn't serve as a deterrent, what does it serve as? Now, our criminal justice system prison is based on punishment and rehabilitation. So deterrent isn't necessarily flagged up as its sort of modus operandi, but we often our politicians refer to prison as being some kind of deterrent. If it's not a deterrent, we spend more than £7 billion a year on prisons. Are we just chucking that money away? Is there a better way of addressing this issue? 0345 6060 973, the number again. Now, in a moment, I'll be checking in with Ben Keith, a human rights barrister who wrote for The Times, our archaic UK prison system is not fit for purpose. He's got an interesting take to share with you. But first, I'm joined by the founder of Mental Health Works Limited, Noel McDermott, who's worked in prisons and hospitals with male offenders. Nice to see you, Noel.
Hi.
Is prison a deterrent?
No, it's never been. It's actually encourages crime.
Encourages crime?
Yeah. I mean, it depends who you classify as a criminal. So they're universities of crime, prisons mostly. So recidivism, the repeating of offending, is well known as an outcome of any sort of custodial sentence. And also there's the crime that happens while somebody's in prison. So the attacks on prison officers, the attacks on other prisoners, etc., etc. So, no, it has no deterrent effect whatsoever.
What is the point of prison?
Well, the sentencing guidelines say partly it's punishment. There is a case for people who are predatory and dangerous to be in the secure state in some form. I would argue that we should move more towards a treatment model, but that's an argument that I have with people. So there is some argument that some people are dangerous and they need to be managed, and we don't currently have appropriate management systems in the public. So in the past, I've worked with things like MAPA, multi-agency public protection, which, as you pointed out, is struggling with the sort of privatisation of the probation service. And I think it's been brought back into public domain. Yeah. But, those types of processes require robust connections between various organisations, both voluntary and statutory sector, which, as you pointed out, have been destroyed mostly by previous austerity measures. So it would be worrying that we need a reinvestment in that. The other thing about protecting the public is that's fine, but like I said, are prison officers not members of the public? Shouldn't we be protecting them as well? Shouldn't we be thinking about that, etc.? And then there's restorative justice, which rarely happens in prison, but it does happen. So restorative justice programs are there about asking the offender to give something back. There's a great play on at the moment, if people want to know about it, called The Punch, which is on in London, which is a play about restorative justice. It's about the meeting between the mum of a murder victim and the guy who murdered her son, and how that restorative justice worked in that context.
I had a barrister friend who took me around various courts and did a very good job of persuading me to see the criminal justice system from his perspective. And he is of the view that we send too many of the wrong kind of people to prison, that perhaps we don't need more prisons, we just need to do prison better. And I have to say, I was very cynical about tagging until one of my friends actually fell foul of the law and was tagged himself. And I could see that the system worked incredibly well. He actually broke the terms of his tag and was rearrested and sent back to prison. And it went very effectively. So that
community-based treatment punishments, those orders, community-based orders, have an Everest-sized mountain of evidence supporting them. Absolutely. It's unassailable, the evidence base for that type of approach, in terms of people who've committed offences. But waiting till somebody's committed offences a bit too far downstream. There's plenty of evidence, and we know how this works if we invest appropriately in public services, of preventing crime altogether. So crime rates are dropping, we should note. The crime rates that are dropping are the very serious offences are dropping. And that's because of previous work done in partnership work, in community partnership work between the police, between probation service.
I think some people listening might just say they don't believe crime is falling. It's all statistics. Noel McDermott, pleasure talking to you. Thank you. Let's bring in Ben Keith now.